Hello, everybody. I'm Hunter deButts, and I'm back here to talk a little bit more about health and what it takes to stay healthy. Today, I want to talk about water. I want to talk about water and hydration. I'm going to start this by saying all waters are not created equal, and I mean that. A few years ago, I'll start with a little story. A few years ago, I was a sergeant in the Virginia Defense Force. It's a state military, but it's a state organization, and we provide assistance to the Army National Guard, to the police, and other organizations in the state that belong to state organizations that need us. And it was a we were on a assignment to handle crowd control and traffic at a festival at Occoquan over in Northern Virginia. And we've been there since about 6 o'clock in the morning. It was May and it was a particularly warm day. We're all dressed full fatigues, packs, and whatnot. And about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, I started getting a headache. By three, I was in the hospital. And the doctor comes in after he checks me over. He goes out and does a few things, comes back in, and he starts reading me the riot act. And he said, you're a sergeant. I said, yes, sir. He goes, you have people that are under you. And I said, yes, sir. And he said, how in the world can you keep them hydrated when you can't even keep yourself hydrated? And I looked at him. I said, Doc, that's not possible. He goes, why is that? I said, I'm drinking it. I picked up a bottle, 20-ounce bottle of Deer Park. And I said, I'm drinking one of these every 20 minutes to a half an hour. And he goes, are you urinating? I went, yeah, one goes in, one comes out. He says, this is the important thing. He said, what color is your urine? And I said, at this point, it's as clear coming out as was going in. And he shook his head and he said, I don't know what the problem is then. Well, I want to fast forward a few years. And what I learned when I started drinking the water that I'm drinking now, it's Kangen water or electrolyzed reduced water is the medical term for this water, is that most waters don't readily absorb on the cellular level. Because if that Deer Park had been absorbing on the cellular level, it would have been constantly flushing out waste. Not only that, it would have been hydrating my cells properly, hydrating my entire body. It wasn't doing that. That water, if it had been hydrating me and flushing my body out, I would have always had some color in my urine, not clear. So what that water was doing was going through me and not going in me. You know what I mean? Going through me, but it wasn't hydrating me. It wasn't going in me. And I've learned a lot of other things about water. Our tap water. Well, let me start with our body. Every cell in our body has a little opening called an aquaporin, and every time the heart beats, the cells open and then they contract. They expand, they contract. When they expand, they suck in nutrients and oxygen. When they contract, they push out carbon dioxide and waste. Water is the transport vehicle. Now, coming back to our water here, our bottled water, our tap water, water molecules bond together. And you got all these little molecules coming in some sort of a chemical bond, but they bond together, and those little bonds, clusters, have gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. The opening in every cell can only handle 6 molecules at a time. However, the molecule clusters that we have available to us today are anywhere from 18 to 30 molecules per cluster. Those clusters are going up to the cell opening and they cannot get in. So we're drinking this water. We may be hydrating, 10% of it may be actually hydrating us. The rest of it is going through us. So what we need to do is we need to break those molecule clusters down. And electrolyzed reduced water or Kangen water, when that electric charge hits that water, it breaks those molecule clusters apart. I call it disassociating. There's other names for it, down to anywhere from 4 to 6 molecules per cluster. And those water molecules are so small now, or the clusters are so small, you can feel it being absorbed through your mouth and your tongue as you're drinking it. It's small enough to absorb or to go through the brain barrier. It gets into every nook and cranny of your body. And in doing that, it is constantly hydrating every part of your body. And it is also at the same time taking all of the waste out. Now, I want to talk about a couple of other different types of waters. Our bottled waters, most of them have purified written across them. That means that water has been run through reverse osmosis. Reverse osmosis strips that water of all mineral, all nutritional value. So what they do, they then add a little bit of mineral back into it for the taste. It's still not enough mineral to supply our body. So as we're drinking that water is acidic. And as we're drinking it, not only does it not supply nutrients to the body, it pulls nutrients from our body to buffer that water for digestion. So the water that we're drinking that we have available to us is not being absorbed. Our bottled waters, on most parts, are acidic. Now, we do have alkaline waters that you can buy, and these are alkaline level of 8, 8.5, 9, 9.5. You can get them at the stores. They're very expensive, but you can buy them. Those alkaline waters are waters that have had mineral added. You can do the same thing by adding baking soda to your tap water. These are mineral added. You drink that water enough, those minerals, those added minerals, are going to accumulate in your body, the ones that your body don't use. They're going to accumulate, and over a period of time, they could cause something called alkalosis, or it's when your body becomes too alkaline. Kidney stones are a result. That's one of the results that I know, and there's other problems that come out of that, but kidney stones is the one that comes to my mind. So you even want to watch that. Another thing about bottled waters, you do not know how long that water's been sitting in the bottle, nor do you know where that bottle of water has been stored. Fiji, for example, probably great water when it comes out of the springs. I would imagine it's very, very good. But the bottles they put it in are manufactured in China. The water goes into the bottle. It goes into a hold of a ship. It's in the ship for a month or more, comes home, comes wherever it's going, stuck in a warehouse for God knows how long. Temperature fluctuations, you have no idea what they are. And that water may sit there a year, year and a half, 2 years before it finally gets to the grocery store. Over that period of time, and every other bottled water is just like it, over that period of time, the chemicals in the plastics will leach into that water. And one of the worst chemicals that we have is BPA. Now, a lot of people, FDA says it's safe. A lot of other people argue with you. But if you go to the President's panel on environmental cancer risk, 2008, 2009, you can look it up on Google. Go to page 18 of that document, and it will describe the risk of BPA. The risk will blow your mind. Several different types of cancer, diabetes, obesity, early childhood puberty. It interferes with cancer treatment. Just a few things. This is in our plastics, not to mention all the plastics that go into our landfills, or the plastics that end up not going into our landfills, but end up in our rivers and streams, and eventually into the ocean. And these things are causing a big problem today. Now, our drinking water, our tap water, probably the safest water that you have available to you today, the very safest, is tap water, municipal tap water. And that's a shame, because here in Loudoun County, our municipal tap water, again, the molecule clusters, like I mentioned a little earlier, are too large to get cellular absorption on the level that we really need it, number one. Number two, the chemicals. Here in Loudoun County, Leesburg, Virginia, the chemicals that they put in the water have to neutralize any of the bacteria or any of the other elements that they find in the water naturally. The water here, most of it comes from the Potomac River. Now, upstream in the Potomac and upstream in the Shenandoah, there's factories, there's agricultural runoff. The list goes on and on and on and on and on. So I'm not sure exactly what is in this water here, but I do know that the chemicals that they're adding to this water are extraordinarily, extraordinarily oxidative. Chlorine, for instance. Chlorine kills by oxidation. Chlorine, um, there's a little meter called an ORP meter. It's an oxidative reduction potential. You can measure the Leesburg town water, and it on that meter is about a plus 700, 650 to 700. Coca-Cola, we already know how alkaline that is. I mean, how acidic that is, but how oxidative it is. I mean, drop a nail in it. They'll give you a real good idea how oxidative that is, because oxidation causes rust. Coca-Cola is about 400 on that ORP meter, about a 400, same as other soft drinks. The bad thing about the soft drinks and Gatorade, sports drinks, all of the kind of stuff that we're giving our kids, all fall into the same category. They are extraordinarily acidic. Coca-Cola, Pepsi-Cola, ginger ale, all of these guys, they may be 1.5 to 2 points less acidic than battery acid. Now, I talked earlier on balance and how acidity in the body causes, or is a primary cause, or a portion of the cause of all diseases that we get. Just about every disease out there comes from the body becoming too acidic. Well, if we're drinking a drink that's about 2 points less acidic than battery acid, what in the world are we doing to our body? The tap water we have from a municipal source is not acidic. It's actually, it's neutral. It has to be that way by law. And it's not because of what the water does to us. They make it alkaline to keep it from corroding the pipes. Don't think anything about our pipes. So anyway, it's slightly alkaline, but the oxidation level is the killer. Now, oxidation is what causes inflammation. Inflammation is the primary cause of all disease. Just about every disease that you can think of has inflammation, oxidation in the original cause. So what we need to do somehow or another is get over that one too. Now, for the last 7 years, I've been drinking, it's called Kangen Water, or the medical term is Electrolyzed Reduced Water. When that ionizer, it's made by a company named Enagic. It's the only ionizer in the world that I know of that will do this. It hits that water with a hard enough charge of electricity that it disassociates those molecules. It breaks them apart so your body can actually absorb them. It does other things to the water, helps get the body back into an alkaline balance, and it also neutralizes that oxidation that we find in our water. Actually, not only does it neutralize it, the Kangen water is very rich in active hydrogen, or hydrogen, molecular hydrogen is the term that we want to use for this. It's very, very rich in molecular hydrogen. Molecular hydrogen is one of the strongest antioxidants known. So if we can take our regular tap water and convert it to a water that is absorbed readily into our body, that helps balance the body's pH and neutralizes the oxidation and removes the inflammation, we've done more right there in that one instant to help our body keep the health benefits that our body needs to function. And that's all it does. I mean, I'm telling you, all waters aren't created equal. I have not found any water, none, that'll come close to the benefits of Kangen water or electrolyzed reduced water for overall good health. So if you want information on that, please feel free to contact me. If you'd like to try it, contact me. I'll give you all the water that you can drink. And if you're not in my area, I'll try to find somebody that will do that. But contact me. My email is hunterdeButts, no period, no nothing, just hunterdeButts@gmail.com. That's HUNTERDEBUTTS@gmail.com. My phone number is 703-728-7103. All right. And also, you can go into Facebook. I write a health blog in Facebook and post it almost every day. So, folks, I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll be back again with the next presentation. Will probably be on acidity, and then we'll move on to inflammation and oxidative stress. But have a great evening, and I hope you enjoyed this. Thanks.